What's going on, YouTube? Matthew back here with you. I had an awesome mail day that I plan to share with you, all for the 88 top set that I've been working on. If you're new to my channel, check out my other videos because I've been working on a project, 88 tops and tops traded, trying to autograph these completely, get an autograph set completely, building that, as well as oddball stuff. And I had 4 purchases recently over the past week come in today. One of these guys is, I'll just say this, it's the biggest one I'll say for last, but Steroid King, I'll just say Steroid King. But at the same time, before he got on steroids, was one of the best player in all of baseball back in the 90s, early 90s. And one is from a deceased former multiple time All Star and easily probably the best relief pitcher at one time in the game, um, former World Series champion. I also got in a slabbed autograph of a guy that I feel should have won the 1987 MVP over George Bell. He did his numbers weren't as good as Bell's, but I felt he was more valuable to his team than George Bell was. And then a former 20-game winner for the 1983 Chicago White Sox. All right, I'm going to do the first one here. That's the least valuable. In a prior video, when I was showing cards I already had autographed, I mentioned that I had got this card through the mail. I actually wrote to Richard Dotson, and he signed the 88 Tops regular issue of him with the White Sox for me, and he signed this one, but this one got smudged, as you can see right there. And I had said it will just be a fill-in for now until I replace it with a better one. Well, the problem is Dotson quit signing, and I think the last time I looked, there had not been a success in over 2 years that he has just quit signing by mail, probably because of the amount of people writing to players nowadays asking them to sign. Well, this is now going to replace it in the set. It is blue Sharpie. It is authenticated by Beckett. I was not seeking to, I was actually planning on just replacing it eventually with a regular card like this that was autographed. Because Dotson, not a Hall of Famer, he was a great pitcher at one time. And he did have a long major league career, but his best days were in the early 80s. But this was listed on eBay, and it was so cheap to start with that anytime I see a authenticated, since I started working on this um, the 88 Top Set project, anytime I see any kind of slabbed autograph for the set that I don't, or whatever, that might interest me, that especially if it's less than, if it's $20 or less, I would put it on my watch list. Well, I put this on my watch list. It was listed, and I don't like to tell what I paid for a lot of stuff sometimes, but I will say this was listed at $20. Buy it now plus shipping. I put it on my watch list because I really wasn't looking to spend $25 total shipping and all for a common player like Dotson that is pretty easy to find, even though he's quit signing through the mail. It's pretty easy to find his autographs. Um, and I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to have this card slabbed for the set. But the seller ended up sending me, I don't know if he needed Christmas money, whatever. He sent me an offer that surprised me. And I felt that I would be stupid to not take it because of the fact when I thought about it, I said, you do want to replace the smudged autograph one. This will still go into my Yankee part of my collection, part of my PC Yankee autograph, former Yankee players autograph. But I said, it's in blue Sharpie. How I said, and then I thought about it. I said, what the seller sent me an offer for, if I wrote to Dotson myself and he did sign the card in blue Sharpie, it would cost me that much to get it graded, get it authenticated by Beckett. And then I'd have to pay the shipping to ship it to Beckett. I'd be charged, you know what I'm saying? So I said, this guy's just trying. I said, he isn't even going to get after eBay fees what he has in it in getting this card authenticated. So I bought it. I paid $14.98 plus because the He had it listed for 19.98 plus shipping. I got this for 14.98. He sent me an offer for that. I just accepted it. I bought it. Anyway, long story short, I know that, like I said, I know it's not a guy that I felt like I needed to definitely get slabbed or anything, but I just felt like for the price, and if I had ever wanted to, authenticate the guy, I would be paying more to get the same card authenticated than the guy was going to sell it to me for. All right, the next pickup, Alan Trammell, the Detroit Tigers all-time great. This is SGC authenticated. Blue Sharpie, the card is a little off center. I'm thrilled with this. Now, Trammell has been known to sign through the mail one card for a pretty good while, but he's hit or miss. A lot of people have been writing to him, and he'll simply send the card they mail to him back in their return envelope that they send, and without signing it. Other people get lucky. Once in a while, he'll sign. This was up for auction. It was actually being auctioned off by DC Sports Cards, Sports 87, who sent me a business card with it. But anyway, they're consignment. But they're like a power seller on eBay, if they even still use that term on eBay today. But it was at the time I come across this, I had about 2 hours left in the listing, in the auction listing, and it was at about $8 plus shipping. And I ignored the. I wasn't really worried about the price to ship it. The fact that it was slabbed again. I put in a bid, and I figured I would get outbid. I didn't. So for at an all-time, to me, a guy that is a former MVP, in my opinion, in '87, um, and a guy that's an all-time Tigers great. Um, and it's encapsulated, and I love SGC. I always have. So to get this, and I won it for a bid of $10.02. I went over. Uh, I bid 10.02, and that put me in the lead. I figured whoever had bid $10 would bid 50 cent more or whatever to outbid me. But I just said, I don't have to have this card slabbed. He's not, like, it's not like this is, Kirby Puckett or something. But I said, if I can get it for $10, I'll take it. Well, I got it. So thrilled with that. Now, the two biggies. Dan Quisenberry, former All Star, multi time All Star, one of the best relief pitchers in all of baseball from probably about 1980 through 85. All-time great Kansas City Royal. He was part of the team that won it all in 1985 World Series champions. It's authenticated by Beckett. There was another one that I considered that was actually authenticated by PSA, but I like this one better because it was Blue Sharpie. So I didn't really care Beckett or PSA. I don't care. Some people's like, oh, PSA sells more. You're wasting your money. No, I'm not going to sell this. So I mean, my family may one day after I'm dead and gone, but I won't be selling this card. So for my for me, this card was more eye appealing than the PSA. That doesn't mean I'm against PSA. It just means that this is for my collection. This is not because I'm thinking about trying to flip this card next week. Okay. I will say this: when I decided to put this project together, and if anybody out there is thinking about starting, trying to complete an entire set of Topps or Donruss or Fleer from any decade autographed, I started by writing to every player that would sign through the mail for free. So I had as little money in it as possible. And then when I got to where I was pretty much to the point I was running out of guys that I could write to, I started looking at the filling holes through purchases. And some guys will sign at private signings, but or whatever, or like shows, but they will not sign through the mail. Um, but I started looking at if I was when I got to the point I was going to have to actually spend some money, a little bit of money to complete the set. I said, or to try to complete as much of the set as possible. I said I'm going to go after guys that have been passed away. Quisenberry passed away a lot of years ago. There's not that many autographs of his out there because people, for one thing, weren't collecting autographs the way they do now back then. So, to get this and it's back and authenticated, the card is very well, pretty good centered. But that's Quisenberry's scribble. But I'm thrilled with that. I loved that guy when I was a kid. I mean, he had the funny throwing motion. He wasn't overpowering, but he was very effective. This is the biggest one. I said in an earlier video, this would be the one card that I probably would not get signed if there was two cards that I thought I would struggle to get signed. It would be Kirby Puckett, who has passed away, but is also very skyrocket expensive on authenticated autographs, and I would not buy one that wasn't authenticated uh, because people on eBay and people out there are asking way too much for unauthenticated autographs as it is, and then you don't really know. I mean, there's a lot of good forgers out there, but this one here is a guy that he does not sign. He's not deceased, but he refuses to sign. He signed in his playing days, but he refuses to sign autographs now. I don't know if it's angry that he's caught so much negativity over steroids or whatever. But Barry Bonds, this is Beckett authenticated. This is one of the two cards that I thought I would struggle the most to get. And when I had the opportunity to get this, when I came across it, I was able to get this for. I will just tell you this: I looked up comps. There was one PSA 1988 Topps Barry Bonds that sold this past year. It was 400. I think it was 390 something dollars. Counting shipping, it was over 400. I got this for far less than half of that, and here's the reason why. If you look right there, you see this autograph is smudged a little bit, but it's still a nice blue Sharpie autograph of Bonds on an 88 Topps. So I had actually picked this up, and I showed it in an earlier video. This I had actually got in a lot deal that I bought a few years back of just a bunch of graded cards, and it's just nothing special, PSA 7, Barry Bonds. But I had put this into the set because I figured I would probably never, I wasn't going to pay. I knew I wasn't going to pay $300-400 for an autograph of Barry Bonds, authenticated or not. I just wasn't. I wasn't going to pay nowhere near that for, and and like even these guys that have been deceased for years that are tough to get, you pay nowhere near. I didn't even pay close to 100, much less 300, 400. I mean, Quisenberry, as great as he was, and as long as he's been deceased, autograph collectors can pick his cards up for under $50. Bonds, you're not going to find a legitimate autograph. If you see a legitimate autograph of Bonds under $50, it's not authenticated. And if it is, it's not authentic. If it is authenticated, you better get it for under $50. I'll tell you that. Thrilled, thrilled to add that. That is like, you know, that is like the whale of the set right there. That card autographed, and I don't care that it's smudged just a little bit. It still presents pretty nice. Major addition to the 88 Top set. For those of you that has been following along, these additions today. Now I swapped out the Dotson with a new Dotson, and I'm swapping out the which this was not an already autograph, but we're basically today's mail added 3 new autographs to the set. So now I'm up to 470 autograph cards out of 792. Now, also remember 7 of those cards in the 792 are checklist. So I'm not like some people, I'm not going to send right to players and ask them to sign those like some collectors will. They will stay unsigned in the set. I just look for the most pristine, uh, you know, centered, well conditioned checklist that I can find for the set. I also collect extra error cards for this set. But I've got 400. This will make me 470 out of a possible 792. And if I take off the checklist, 785 cards. So we're really gaining traction on the set. As far as the traded set, we are at 64 out of 132 cards. One of those being a checklist. So not too bad. And I'm going to keep working on this project little by little. I'm also, stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to my channel, like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be uploading some, besides just the 88 Top set, I want to be getting back into through the mail autographs. I've sent out recently a few TTM requests, and I'm going to be going back to doing through the mail autographs and videos, sharing things like that, as well as other pickups besides the 88 Top set. But this is a big day for the 88 Top set, my 88 Tops project set, autograph set. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back again real soon with more videos.